Welcome to Shortys Supercoach and welcome to Shorty's press conference. And let's be honest, it is carnage for Shorty. It's not looking good at all. I scored 2,054 and I'm disappointed. I spoke last week and kept faith with my side, which I'll continue to do for the most part. But again, a lot of players didn't fire. And there'll be a lot of people who are in the same boat as me, and a lot of it doesn't come down to perhaps selection, but just some crucial injuries at crucial times that caused some really poor scores. I'll start with the back line and just touch on a few things before I talk more overall. I mean, let's face it, a lot of my better players are the more popular selections, and if I'm taking positives, are my money-making players. Look, Marcus Adams was a revelation, Birchall consistent, but Tipping Woody was good as well. McDonald Tipping Woody, 84, great. You take 72 from Brown as well. But Rich had some hamstring troubles, scores 38. Lonergan just didn't fire, was 67. Bartel was one of our better players. I watched the game and he was not too bad, but Geelong had a shocking day out. He scores 61. Again, the midfield was consistent without being great, and we picked midfielders to get those 120 plus scores and they didn't deliver. Libber and Ablett, as last week, did fire. Pendlebury was pretty impressive, albeit some rib troubles, which is concerning. Shield, Wines, Crouch didn't set the world on fire, and Rockcliffe, who I'll discuss later and in another video, tore many people apart with his 48. You'd take 68 with Mills. Hewitt was down, so was Davis, but I think they'll be making money. Corey Ellis is on the chopping block for mine. And as we move down the ruck department, Gawn and Leuenberger. Gawn just hasn't quite hit that pre-season strap yet, has he? I mean, he was so impressive, but just 85 to give him that 90 average, not exactly what we're after. And Leuenberger is something of a dead weight at the moment for me. I'm concerned about him. I'm not going to pull the trigger on him yet, but there is concerns there. Moving into the forward line, Wells, again, so many people have him. He was impressive. Every man and his dog has Martin. He dominated. Franklin's, I'm happy with what he's doing. Kerridge has been absolutely brilliant. Sam Gray had a poor day, as many people did in the Port Adelaide side. And Michael Barlow, wow, he is tearing my head apart. Tearing my hair out over him. Can't even speak. I'm that disappointed. Papley is going very nicely on the bench, and I'm happy with Petrarca to make me some coin later. But look, overall, that's disappointing. There's no shying away from that. I look at that side and I go, look, there's still a lot of upside there, and I'm happy with some of my picks. I mean, it's only 2 rounds. Some haven't fired yet. But particularly in the midfield, I'm happy to wait on the likes of Wines, Shield, Crouch. I like Lonergan in the back line. I feel like Sam Gray is playing a good role, just the side isn't quite clicking at the moment. But unfortunately, the only positives I can take out of my side at the moment is that I am going to generate cash from this point in time onwards. And I'm sure you're the same, sitting at home with the likes of Papley being impressive as is Brown, McDonald tipping Woody. Davis is looking like he's cementing himself into the side. And of course Adams is going to make some serious cash. Wells, Kerridge, the like are making a lot of money. Ben Kennedy is another. And some other positives, certainly not looking at my screen, but on others, is Heath Shaw struggling. Nat Fyfe's obviously hit back but had a poor score, drop in price, as did Dangerfield, had a poorer week. Todd Goldstein, it's working out to plan at least that he should drop quite a fair margin after this week, and that 95 that he had should see him steadily drop for a couple of weeks at that lofty price. And that's about all I'm getting at the moment, is those positives. And what I mean by that is you mould those 2 positives together that are making money, and some of the players that you target are coming down, is that hopefully I can perhaps upgrade quicker than maybe first thought. But it's still a while away. It's amazing looking at teams and going, just one slight selection can take you so far. You look at Daniel Rich, 436, Jason Johannesson, 418. Well, I think probably would have pocketed an extra 110 points, something to that degree, if I had have locked in him. I think Rich was good the first week, but just, you look at that and he's really let me down. And Johannesson just continues to fire. What's another good example? I mean, I can't really think of one off the top of my head. Aaron Hall, there you go, is another one. I'm happy with the Sam Gray pick, but Aaron Hall is just dominating. And I look at this side and I see a lot of players that are good by name but slightly out of form, and that's disappointing. Look, as far as talking about the real talking points, I will do a video probably later in the week, but we're talking Rockcliffe, we're talking Rich, we're talking Leuenberger, and none more so, we are talking Michael Barlow. Heat all over him. I personally feel he must go, and that's not to say I don't think Barlow can hit back and average and produce some decent scores for the rest of the year, but it's now or never. You've got a bloke knocking the door down in Aaron Hall who's 80k cheaper, and the fact is it's now or never. The ship will sail on Hall and the Barlow ship will sink. So what I mean by that is Barlow's going to drop miles in price, and I'm not saying that he can't average 90 odd for the rest of the year. It's probably not enough. He seems like his best may be past him. What are the Dockers doing? They're in disarray. He didn't have one clearance on the weekend. What role is he playing? What is going on with him? You've got Aaron Hall, who's playing in a side that seems to be on the improve. They're in form. He's their form player. He's dominating, and I think you can pocket some money and you'll get some points. So for me, that's a no-brainer. I think I'll be more patient on Rockcliffe and Rich. Leuenberger's concerning me a little bit, but you've got nowhere to really go for him until the prices fluctuate. So, as I said last week, I'll be patient with him. I'll watch him closely on Friday night against Matthew Lobe and see how he goes. But there'll be definitely 2 trades used for just about everyone, because I think while my score was poor, it's you're just a player here and there off being back in some of the better scorers. But speaking of good scorers, we'll focus in on the SuperCoach HQ League, and Josh again dominated. Top score 2,285 with Garlic's best 22, and he's travelling very nicely. So certainly I think he's in the top 5,000, which is very impressive. But look, there's no doubt about it. Shortys Superstars, they've got a lift. They've been pretty poor. I think I stopped looking at the scores at about Saturday afternoon. As soon as Rocky went down, I was like, this is not my week. I'm out of here. It was disappointing. I'll stay patient for sure. It's always crucial to remember that trades are golden, and I think I wouldn't be endorsing a Rockcliffe trade nor a Rich trade. And in my eyes, they're sort of rage trades, I think. Look, they're not playing well, there's no doubting that, but I know you might want to go to Johannesson, you might want to go to Luke Parker as well, but to me they're a little bit sideways for my liking. I understand why you might do it. I feel like Barlow's a different case because he seems to be not playing a different role, but he's just badly out of form, and he is going to drop big time. So I will go into deeper detail probably later in the week. I think maybe a Thursday video, sort of Thursday night, once the teams are out, because you never know what other stuff can pop up when the teams come out. So also, will Rockcliffe and Rich be named? It sounds doubtful, but they're a chance. So I think I'll talk about that maybe later in the week. So stay tuned. Hopefully Thursday night I'll get stuck into that one. But give me your thoughts on how your team is going. No doubt it's probably going better than mine. As you can see, it's not the start I wanted. I will, fingers crossed, and that's all you can really do at the moment. You do a lot of looking into things over the pre-season, and probably about a third of those are coming to fruition right now. But we will keep the faith. There's still some money being made on the bench. I'll make a couple of trades. I'll keep talking SuperCoach throughout the week, and hopefully my fortunes can turn. But for your sake, hopefully you're going well. Let me know how you're going. I'm not touching on Shorty SuperCoach leagues at the moment. I thought I'd be better off to touch on those perhaps sparingly, and I thought I'd do not a week-to-week higher score, but just touch on maybe every so often who's winning the leagues in ladder point of view as well as total points point of view. So we'll focus more on the SuperCoach HQ side of things, because I feel that takes up a little bit of time, and I'd rather discuss perhaps other options and talk about certain players and things like that, rather than perhaps leagues that, you know, are limited to 17 people perhaps watching. So looking to broaden the audience interest, I suppose. But let me know your thoughts. If you got any questions, you know, feel free to shoot them out. But as I say, hold fire on a lot of the questions, because my real thoughts I'll put through in that video later in the week. I'll really hammer home what I feel about those 4 players that are really concerning a lot of people. They're popular picks, and I will say it's pretty ironic. There were 2 picks pre-season that I locked and loaded, and to be honest, never left my side. I didn't even think about. They were Michael Barlow and Tom Rockcliffe. I barely thought about Barlow. You know, you look at his age and that, but bugger it, he's so consistent, you know, and he's a good side, consistent team. He'll get the job done. Ross Lyon forecasts a good role. And Rockcliffe, we know what he can do. Lock him in. Poor year last year, bang. They're the 2 blokes that are probably one of the more popular 2, and they're letting everyone down. So very amazing, and that's the funny game SuperCoach is. But give me your thoughts, give us a subscribe as well, give the video a like, and stay tuned for those videos later in the week.